Welcome students. In this module, we are discussing about local theory of curves. From this section, a learner is expected to achieve the following: learns the concept of space curves, learns about planar graphs, familiarizing the helices, familiarizing the examples. Space curves. In this chapter, we shall consider the equations of the form vector r is equal to vector r of t, which is equal to x of t I plus y of t j plus z of t k, where x of t, y of t and z of t are real valued functions of the scalar variable t. As t increases from its initial value t naught to the value t 1, the point x of t, y of t, z of t trace out some geometric object in space. It may be straight line or curve. This geometric object is called space curve or arc. Simply, the equations x equal to x of t, y is equal to y of t, z equal to z of t represent a curve in space. A space curve is the locus of the point whose coordinates are functions of a single variable t x, y, z. When a particle moves through space during a time interval I, then the particle's coordinates can be considered as functions defined on I. X equal to f of t, y is equal to g of t, z is equal to h of t, t belongs to I. The points x, y, z equal to f of t, g of t, h of t, t belongs to I make up the curve in space that we will call the particle's paths. The equations and interval in equation 1 parameterize the curve. The vector r of t is equal to vector o p, which is equal to f of t I plus g of t j plus h of t k from the origin to the particle's position p of f of t, g of t, h of t at time t is the particle's position vector. The functions f, g and h are the component functions or components of the position vector. We think of the particle's path as the curve traced by vector r during the time interval I. Equation 1 defines as a vector function of the real variable t on the interval I. More generally, a vector function or real valued function on a domain set D is a rule that assigns a vector in space to each element in D. For now, the domains will be intervals of real numbers. There are situations when the domains will be regions in plane or in space. Vector functions will then be called vector fields. We refer to real valued functions as scalar functions to distinguish them from the vector functions. The components of vector r are scalar functions of t. When we define a vector valued function by giving its component functions, we assume the vector function's domain to be the common domain of the components. Example 1, representation of a circle in the vector form. Consider the circle x square plus y square equal to 1 in the x y plane. It is most convenient to use the trigonometry functions with the t interpreted as the angle that varies from 0 to 2 pi. Then we have x equal to cos t, y is equal to sin t, z equal to 0, or vector r of t is equal to f of t I plus g of t j plus h of t k equal to cos t I plus sin t j. In this chapter, we show that curves in space constitute a major field of applications of vector calculus. To track a particle moving in space, we run a vector r from origin to the particle. Example 2, straight line. A straight line L through a point A with a position vector, vector A is equal to a 1 I plus a 2 j plus a 3 k in the direction of a constant vector B is equal to b 1 I plus b 2 j plus b 3 k can be represented in the form which can be seen in the figure. Vector r of t is equal to a plus t b, which is equal to a 1 plus t b 1 I plus a 2 plus t b 2 j plus a 3 plus t b 3 k. If B is a unit vector, its components are direction cosines of L. In this case, modulus of t measures the distance of the points of L from A. Example 3, a helix. The vector function vector r of t is equal to cos t I plus sin t j plus t k is defined for all real values of t. The curve traced by r is a helix, which is from the old Greek word for spiral, that winds around the circular cylinder x square plus y square equal to 1. This can be seen in figure 3. The curve lies on the cylinder because the I and j components of r being the x and y coordinates of the tip of vector r satisfy the cylinder's equation x square plus y square equal to cos t square plus sin t square equal to 1. The curve rises as the k component z equal to t increases. Each time t increases by 2 pi, the curve completes one turn around the cylinder. The equations x equal to cos t, y is equal to sin t, z equal to t parameterize the helix. Limits. The way we define limits of vector valued functions is similar to the way we define limits of real valued functions. Let vector r of t is equal to f of t I plus g of t j plus h of t k be a vector function and L is a vector. We say that vector r has limit L as t approaches to, and we write limit t tending to t naught vector r of t equal to L if for every number epsilon greater than 0 there exists a corresponding number delta greater than 0, such that if for all t 0 less than modulus of t minus t naught less than delta implies modulus of r of t minus L less than epsilon, then limit t tending to t naught vector r of t equal to L. Precisely when limit t tending to t naught f of t equal to L 1, limit t tending to t naught g of t equal to L 2 and limit t tending to t naught h of t equal to L 3. The equation limit t tending to t naught vector r of t equal to limit t tending to t naught f of t I plus limit t tending to t naught g of t j plus limit t tending to t naught h of t k provides a practical way to calculate limits of vector functions. Example 4. If vector r of t equal to cos t I plus sin t j plus t k, then limit t tending to 0 vector r of t equal to limit t tending to 0 cos t I plus limit t tending to 0 sin t j plus limit t tending to 0 t k is equal to I, and limit t tending to pi by 4 vector r of t equal to limit t tending to pi by 4 cos t I plus limit t tending to pi by 4 sin t j plus limit t tending to pi by 4 t k is equal to root 2 by 2 I plus root 2 by 2 j plus pi by 4 k. We define continuity for vector functions the same way we define continuity for scalar functions. A vector function vector r of t is continuous at a point t is equal to t 0 in its domain if limit t tending to t naught vector r of t equal to vector r of t naught. The function is continuous if it is continuous at every point in its domain. Component test for continuity at a point. Since limits can be expressed in terms of components, we can test vector functions for continuity by examining their components. The vector function vector r of t is equal to f of t I plus g of t j plus h of t k is continuous at t is equal to t 0 if and only if the component functions f, g and h are continuous at t naught. Example 5. The function vector r of t is equal to cos t I plus sin t j plus t k is continuous because the component functions are continuous. Derivatives and motion. Suppose that vector r of t is equal to f of t I plus g of t j plus h of t k is the position vector of a particle moving along a curve in space, and that f, g and h are differentiable functions of t. Then the difference between the particle's position at a time t and a time t plus delta t is delta r is equal to vector r of t plus delta t minus vector r of t, which can be seen in figure 4. In terms of components, delta r is equal to r of t plus delta t minus r of t, which is equal to f of t plus delta t I plus g of t plus delta t j plus h of t plus delta t k minus f of t I plus g of t j plus h of t k is equal to f of t plus delta minus f of t I plus g of t plus delta minus g of t j plus h of t plus delta minus h of t k. As delta t approaches 0, three signs seem to happen simultaneously. First, q approaches p along the curve. Second, the secant line p q seems to approach a limiting position tangent to the curve at p. Third, the quotient delta r by delta t approaches the following limit: limit delta t tending to 0 delta r by delta t equal to limit delta t tending to 0 f of t plus delta t minus f of t by delta t I plus limit delta t tending to 0 g of t plus delta t minus g of t divided by delta t j plus limit delta t tending to 0 h of t plus delta t minus h of t by delta t k, which is equal to df by dt I plus dg by dt j plus dh by dt k. We are therefore led by the past experience to the following definitions. The vector function vector r of t is equal to f of t I plus g of t j plus h of t k is differentiable at t is equal to t 0 or differentiable at t 0. Also, the function is said to be differentiable if it is differentiable at every point of its domain. At any point t at which is differentiable, its derivative is the vector dr by dt is equal to limit delta t tending to 0 vector r of t plus delta t minus vector r of t by delta t, which is equal to df by dt I plus dg by dt j plus dh by dt k. Example 6. If r of t is equal to sin t I plus e raised to minus t j plus 3 k, find dr by dt. Solution. Given vector r of t is equal to sin t I plus e raised to minus t j plus 3 k, hence d by dt of vector r is equal to d by dt of sin t I plus d by dt of e raised to minus t j plus d by dt of 3 k is equal to cos t I minus e raised to minus t j. The curve traced by vector r is smooth if d by dt of vector r is continuous and never 0. That is, if f, g and h have continuous first derivatives that are not simultaneously 0. The vector d by dt of vector r when different from 0 is also a vector tangent to the curve. The tangent line to the curve at a point f of t naught, g of t naught, h of t naught is defined to be the line through the point parallel to d by dt of vector r at t naught. We require d by dt of vector r not equal to 0 for a smooth curve to make sure the curve has a continuously turning tangent at each point. On a smooth curve, there are no sharp corners or cusps. A curve that is made up of a finite number of smooth curves pieced together in a continuous fashion is called piecewise smooth. We can see in figure 5. Look once again at figure 4. We drew the figure for delta t positive. So, delta r points forward in the direction of the motion. The vector delta r by delta t, which is not shown in the figure, having the same direction as delta r, points forward too. Had delta t been negative, delta r would have pointed backwards against the direction of the motion. The quotient delta r by delta t, however, being a negative scalar multiple of delta r, would once again have pointed forwards. No matter how delta r points, delta r by delta t points forward, and we expect the vector d by dt of vector r equal to limit delta t tending to 0 delta r by delta t when different from 0 to do the same. This means that the derivative d by dt of vector r is just what we want for modeling a velocity of a particle. It points in the direction of motion and gives the rate of change of position with respect to time. For a smooth curve, the velocity is never 0. The particle does not stop or reverse direction. If vector r is the position vector of a particle moving along a smooth curve in space, then vector v of t equal to d by dt of vector r, which is the particle's velocity vector tangent to the curve. At any time t, the direction of v is the direction of motion, the magnitude of v is the particle speed, and the derivative vector a is equal to d by dt of vector v when it exists is the particle's acceleration vector. In short, velocity is the derivative of the position, v equal to d by dt of vector r. The speed is the magnitude of velocity, speed equal to modulus of vector v. Acceleration is the derivative of velocity, vector a is equal to d by dt of vector v, which is equal to d square by dt square of vector r. The vector v by modulus of vector v is the direction of motion at a time t. We can express the velocity of a moving particle as the product of its speed and direction. Velocity equal to modulus of v into v by mod v, which is equal to speed into direction. Example 7. The vector r of t equal to 6 cos t I plus 6 sin t j plus t square k gives the position of a moving body at a time t. Find the body's speed and acceleration when t is equal to 1. At what times, if any, are the body's velocity and acceleration orthogonal? Vector r equal to 6 cos t I plus 6 sin t j plus t square k. Vector v is equal to d by dt of vector r, which is equal to minus 6 sin t I plus 6 cos t j plus 2 t k. Vector a is equal to d square by dt square of vector r, which is equal to minus 6 cos t I plus minus 6 sin t j plus 2 k. At t is equal to 1, the body's speed and direction are speeds. Modulus of vector v of 1 equal to root of minus 6 sin 1 whole square plus 6 cos 1 whole square plus 1 square, which is equal to root of 73. Direction v of 1 by modulus of v of 1 equal to minus of 6 by root of 73 sin 1 I plus 6 by root of 73 cos 1 j plus 1 by root of 73 k. To find the times when v and a are orthogonal, we look for values of t for which v dot a equal to 36 sin t cos t minus 36 cos t sin t plus 4 t, which is equal to 4 t equal to 0. The only value is t equal to 0. Example H. A particle moves along the curve x equal to 3 t square, y is equal to t square minus 2 t, z equal to t cube. Find the velocity and acceleration at t equal to 1. Solution. Here the position vector of the particle at a time t is given by vector r of t equal to x of t I plus y of t j plus z of t k, which is equal to 3 t square I plus t square minus 2 t j plus t cube k. Then the velocity v is given by v of t is equal to r dash of t, which is equal to 6 t I plus 2 t minus 2 j plus 3 t square k, and the acceleration a is given by a of t is equal to v dash of t, which is equal to 6 I plus 2 j plus 6 t k. When t is equal to 1, vector v is equal to vector v of 1, which is equal to 6 I plus 3 k, and vector a is equal to a of 1, which is equal to 6 I plus 2 j plus 6 k. Example 9. Show that if b, c, d are constant vectors, then vector r of t is equal to b into t square plus z into t plus d is a path of a point moving with constant acceleration. The velocity v is given by v of t is equal to r dash of t, which is equal to 2 b t plus c. Since the derivative of the constant vector d is 0, the acceleration a is given by vector A of t is equal to v dash of t, which is equal to 2b. The above is a constant vector being a scalar multiple of the constant vector b. Example 10. A particle moves so that its position vector is given by vector r of t is equal to cos omega t I plus sin omega t j, where omega is a constant. Show that the velocity of the particle is perpendicular to vector r. The acceleration is directed towards the origin and has magnitude proportional to the distance from the origin. R cross dr by dt is a constant vector. The velocity vector v is given by v of t is equal to r dash of t, which is equal to minus omega sin omega t I plus omega cos omega t j. Now, v dot r is equal to minus omega sin omega t I plus omega cos omega t j dot cos omega t I plus sin omega t j, which is equal to minus omega sin omega t cos omega t plus omega into cos omega t sin omega t, which is equal to 0. Hence, the velocity of the particle is perpendicular to vector r. The acceleration vector A is given by vector A of t is equal to v dash of t, which is equal to minus omega square into cos omega t I plus sin omega t j, which is equal to minus omega square into vector r of t. Thus, the direction of the acceleration is opposite to that vector r, and as such it is directed towards the origin and the magnitude is proportional to vector r. That is, the acceleration is directed towards the origin and has magnitude proportional to the distance from the origin. R cross dr by dt equal to cos omega t I plus sin omega t j cross minus omega sin omega t I plus omega cos omega t j, which is equal to determinant I j k cos omega t sin omega t 0 minus omega sin omega t omega cos omega t 0, which is equal to omega k, which is a constant vector. Example 11, centripetal acceleration. Suppose a particle moves along a circle C having radius r in the counterclockwise sense. Then its motion is given by the vector function v of t equal to r dash of t, which is equal to minus r omega sin omega t I plus r omega cos omega t j. The velocity vector v of t equal to r dash of t, which is equal to minus r omega sin omega t I plus r omega cos omega t j is a tangent at each point t to the circle C and its magnitude is constant. Hence, modulus of v of t equal to root of r dash of t dot r dash of t, which is equal to square root of minus r omega sin omega t square plus r omega cos omega t square, which is equal to r omega. Omega equal to modulus of v of t by r, which is equal to speed by distance from the center. So, that omega is called the angular speed. The acceleration vector is vector A of t equal to v dash of t, which is equal to minus omega square r into cos omega t I plus sin omega t j, which is equal to minus omega square vector r of t, with magnitude modulus of A of t equal to omega square into modulus of vector r of t, which is equal to r omega square. Since r and omega are constants, this implies that there is an acceleration of constant magnitude r omega square towards the origin due to negative sign. This acceleration is called centripetal acceleration. It results from the fact that the velocity vector is changing direction at a constant rate. The centripetal force is m into a, where m is the mass of p. The opposite vector minus m into a is called the centrifugal force, and the two forces are in equilibrium at each instant of the motion. It is time to conclude the session. Before we conclude, let us summarize what we have discussed in this session. In differential geometry, there is calculus and geometry. In this module, we think of curves in two ways. The first as a geometric set of points as the path traced by a particle moving in space. Secondly, curve as a function of t. To apply the techniques of calculus, second way is needed. Before we attend the next session, please try to answer the following questions. Let vector r of t is the position of a particle in space at time t. Find the particle's velocity and acceleration vectors. Then find the particle's speed and direction of motion at the given time value of t. Write the particle's velocity at the time as the product of its speed and direction. Vector r of t is equal to t plus 1 I plus t square minus 1 j plus 2 t k, t equal to 1. Vector r of t is equal to 2 cos t I plus 3 sin t j plus 4 t k, t is equal to pi by 2. Vector r of t is equal to 2 log natural t plus 1 I plus t square j plus t square by 2 k, t is equal to 1. Hope you enjoyed the session. See you next time. Until then, goodbye, take care.